The Pelicans hoping for a happy ending to close out their homestand before hitting the road. And, of course, the big news, Shabazz Muhammad out with the injury.
Yeah, and as bad as it turned out to be, it tells you a little bit about his toughness, that when they took him to the locker room after he got hurt, he wanted to come back out and get back on the court.
How long into a season do you wait until win-loss counts really start to matter?
I don't know if you can put a specific timeline on it, Kevin, but I think you kind of look at the season in maybe 10-day windows or 5-game windows, maybe a month window. It varies from coach to coach. For me personally, I would try to look at things in 10-day to 2-week windows and then evaluate from that standpoint.
And the starting lineup for the Timberwolves. Gibson is the 4 with Towns in the middle. Teague runs the point with Butler at his side. They're the backcourt. And it's Wiggins in at the 3. Now here is Miller. Pass to Ajinça. Allen outside. Cousins with a screen on Butler. And fouled on the shot, so the bucket counts and a chance for one more here.
And you're going to take as many of those high percentage shots as you can get.
New Orleans shooting their first free throw of the game right now.
One shot.
And the Pelicans at last season's trade deadline making the big deal for DeMarcus Cousins.
You know, you look at Anthony Davis being paired with Cousins, and certainly on paper you could make the argument that they've got the best 1-2 punch on the front line in the league. 2 Kentucky guys, great size and offensive skill in terms of their versatility. If they can surround them with shooters and some perimeter defense, I think this group could be scary.
Here's Miller following the bucket by the Timberwolves. Pass to Holiday. He feeds it to Allen. Clock at 6. Some nice passing here by New Orleans. Miller outside. New Orleans needs to get off a shot. Cousins, no good. Wiggins outside. To the wing on the left. Here's Towns. It's stolen by Ajinça. Wiggins against Miller. He dishes it to Cousins. Shoots over Towns. Misses off the right iron. Butler against Allen. Butler, no good.
And low percentage look on that one. Not sure what he was thinking.
I agree with you. Not a good shot, not good offense. They can get a much better look than that, but they're going to need to be patient to do so.
Yeah, way to play in attack mode and get to the line.
And, you know, the defense gets their money's worth on that foul, stopping the layup and not giving up the and one.
The Timberwolves shooting their first free throws of the night right here.
And they had a lot of success a season ago as a team, hitting about 80% of their free throws.
Free throw good, Wiggins.
Hey, and you know, when you're the #1 overall pick, there's some pressure that comes with that stature, and Wiggins had a lot of pressure on him because of that. Has responded well, though, and I think stardom is in this guy's future. I mean, you look at his overall game and how he's developing, a really good threat on offense, and I think he's got a chance to be all NBA defense at some point.
And just thinking about the maturing of Wiggins' game and how he's developed, Clark, he's shown that he can carry an offense as a perimeter player. Few can do that at his age.
Yeah, and he was able to do that in part because he was forced to. When Levine went down last season with an injury, stepped up his scoring, and I think he's only going to get better as he gets older.
Now here's Butler. Following the miss by DeMarcus Cousins. It's stolen by Allen. And here in the first, approaching 3 minutes played. Cousins with a screen on Teague. Holiday the pass to Cousins. Oh, he blocked it and deflects off the backboard.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's going to buy himself a ticket to the bench. If he keeps shooting it like that, he has been putrid here this quarter.
And New Orleans pushing it up now. Holiday is running.
Well, you see the struggles he's having getting anything to go.
Yeah, I'm sure he's frustrated, Greg, because nothing is falling right now. But he's going to keep chipping away at it, and that's the attitude. Stay with it.
Now here's Wiggins following the miss by DeMarcus Cousins. Shot clock at 6 from outside the arc, and it's Wiggins missing.
Well, it's surprising that he clunked that one. I mean, especially since the defense was nowhere to be found.
And it's Miller in the corner. Butler against Allen. Cousins with a screen on Butler. Here's Allen. Terrific design on the big play, and he lays it in. Allen's got 5 now. Timberwolves have gone 2 for 4 from the field so far today. And now we'll go to David Aldridge, who had a chance to talk with head coach Tom Thibodeau. D.A.?
Well, Kevin, they have a specific approach to tonight's game. He told me they have to get the ball into the paint as much as possible and take advantage of what they believe is a big inch for them inside. We'll see if they're right about that tonight. Back to you.
Okay, David, thanks. And Holiday kicks to Ajinça. Over in the corner, Allen. Screen by Cousins. Allen in the post, defended by Butler. Allen, that's good. He has 7. Minnesota in the lead. Teague dishes to Butler. Kicks to Wiggins. Towns a screen on Miller. And a wide open look here for Wiggins. Again, Wiggins missing. The Pelicans have gotten 3 of 8 shots to fall for them here in the first quarter. Allen against Butler. Cousins with a screen on Butler. Allen's shot is off. Minnesota's gone 1 of 3 from beyond the arc so far in the game. Gibson passes to Butler. That shot missing.
And I love the way he uses his size there to make sure he gets that board.
Outside Holiday. There's the pick. Back to Cousins. Yes, and it's Holiday with the assist that time.
And how about that exhale there? Finally gets one to fall through 6 attempts.
Towns a screen on Holiday. T kicks to Towns. Teague against Holiday. Releases from 15. Towns, no luck.
That's what they want. A good look from the mid-range game. Hey, but unfortunately, they came up empty.
Teague against Holiday. Ajinça kicks to Allen. The dish now to Holiday. Some nice passing here by New Orleans. Cousins. That doesn't go either for Cousins.
Well, it's just been one of those kind of games for him.
Butler against Allen. Now here's Towns. He's tightly guarded. And once again off the mark by Minnesota. New Orleans in the lead. Outside Holiday. Miller sets a screen for Holiday. Can't hit that one. Wiggins with some nice D. Outside Teague. Miller against Butler. Rumors about Butler being traded from Chicago were circulating last season. Draft day comes around, and the Minnesota Timberwolves made their move, Greg, to acquire him.
Yeah, and the more you look at it, the trade looks great for Butler and the Wolves. Reunites him with Coach Thibodeau. Joins an incredibly young core in Towns and Wiggins, and the sky's the limit, I think, for this young Wolves team.
And the first one drops.
And Butler emerging as a leader both on and off the floor, a player who plays with great passion and goes all out for his team all the time.
Looking who's out there now for the Pelicans. Solomon Hill, he's checked in for Miller. Wells comes in for Tony Allen. Rajon Rondo subbed in for Drew Holiday. Timberwolves also changing it up. Jang, he's checked in for Gibson. Crawford comes in for Andrew Wiggins, and it's Lawson in for Teague. Outside Hill. Rondo kicks to Wells. Now the feed to Ajinça. Pass to Wells. Cousins with a screen for Wells. Off target with his three.
And even without that three ball dropping for him, the defense should have done more on that last play.
Crawford outside. Feeds it to Lawson. Shoots the three. Pelicans pull it in. Cousins has got his third rebound tonight. Rondo kicks to Hill. Cousins with a screen on Butler. And here's Hill for three. The putback. Cousins on the follow. And the Pelicans lead by one.
You know what? Struggling a little bit, but I do command the effort. 2 of 8 from the field. Let's see if that one gets him going.
Here's Butler. Lawson kicks to Crawford. Here's Towns. And another shot. And the bucket counts. 3-point chance here.
Hey, scoring off misses, that's easy buckets. Something Towns has the length and tenacity to do on a regular basis.
And he's got his first chance at the line here.
Solid work at the line a season ago. 83% on his opportunities.
And guys, if a game was coming down to the wire and an opponent needed to foul, I mean, he was the guy they wanted with the ball in his hands. I mean, shooting the free throws because of his proficiency there.
The free throw drops for Towns. And the NBA has had coaches who are as legendary as any player. With that in mind, Clark, who is your pick as the greatest coach of all time?
Man, I can't even begin to have an answer for that one. There's some guys that jump out, though, when you think about that list, who would be on it. Greg Popovich for sure. Phil Jackson would have to be included on that list. Red Auerbach. Chuck Daly for the way he was able to manage his players. Pat Riley, you'd have to consider him as part of being on somebody worthy of that list as well. And I'll even go back a little farther and throw Lenny Wilkins in the mix. I thought he was really good with a number of different teams that he coached.
And count it. He'll head to the line with a chance to make it 3.
He has a little bit of trickeration with that one. Gets that one to go against the limb.
Trickeration. I like that, partner. That's pretty strong word creation. And you've got to be creative, though, whether you're commentating or hooping, especially when you're going inside.
Free throw drops for Hill. Well, a few things have become clear with Rondo in the past few seasons. One, Greg, he needs to be happy with his situation in order to be productive. And two, he can give you big numbers at times, but he isn't the player he once was on that Celtic team.
Yeah, and Rondo, he's such a hard-headed guy and has his own way of approaching things. If you clash with him, everything goes up in flames with his game. He needs to be on the same page with his coach, and he's running out of coaches who will put up with him.
And, you know, Cousins is tough inside, but he's got a nice outside touch, too. Didn't have that shot when he first got into the league, but now he does.
Now, here is Lawson looking for his first basket still in this one. Crawford against Moore. Moore with the steal. And here comes Moore leading the fast break. And there's Wells. That's good on the assist from Moore. Wells has got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball.
And from what I've seen and heard, Shammy Wells has gone out of his way to take DJ under his wing in the NBA. Not sure if that's the guy you want as a veteran leader, but he and DJ seem to be on the same page.
And they get it. The Elites are with the bucket.
Okay, we got a nice little back and forth going here.
Yeah, and I like it. I love seeing that. It's a lot of fun when that happens. These teams are going at each other from the outside.
Now here's Rondo. Cousins inside. Towns on him. Screen by Cousins. High high post try. Tips it. Cousins on the follow. Cousins has got 10.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They keep getting it in the paint and continue to score consistently.
Here's Towns. Hits the front of the rim and out.
Seems like he's in a hurry. He's kind of rushing his shot. Clearly out of rhythm right now. That's a big reason why they're losing.
Dishes to Cousins. And that's going to be a treble. The doctors checked in for Rajon Rondo. Jones checked in for Minnesota. Timberwolves trail by 6. Crawford kicks to Bielitsa. Back to Crawford. Chang, a screen. A baseline J. And the shot no good, a bit short. Minnesota comes into this one following a loss to the Heat.
And their defense practically non-existent in that one. Just gave up far too many easy shots.
Yeah, I think they were totally checked out, Greg. At least that's what it looked like. When you play that kind of defense, you expect to lose.
8-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Moore against Jones. Elbow shot, and he gets the jumper to drop. Moore's got his first bucket in this one.
Yeah, they're going to have a nice little run here.
Now, here is Lawson. He hasn't scored yet. That, I'm sure, will change. Chang, a screen. Lawson kicks to Crawford. Offline with his 3. And that does it for the first quarter. New Orleans on top as they wrap up the first quarter with a 13-5 run. It's the NBA on 2K Sports from New Orleans. And a guy who seems to improve every season, Jimmy Butler, who spoke with us about one of his biggest surprises.
It's crazy because I never thought that anybody would be preparing to guard me night in and night out. But they do. I have to learn to cope with that and still find a way to be successful on both ends of the floor. And it's a learning curve for me also, but I'm figuring it out.
And hard to doubt the dedication of Jimmy Butler. He's found a way to overcome obstacles at each important point along the way.
You know, he's a self-made player, and if Butler can stay healthy, boy, the sky's the limit.
All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment. Well, what stands out to you from the Pelicans in this one?
I mean, an interesting first quarter. The pressure D seems to be causing a lot of turnover.
Just jumped all over him, Greg. I mean, pounced on him, using their length and quickness to come away with those steals.
They've got Hill. Doctor out there with Etuan Moore. Then there's Wells. And it's Cousins in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. That's the Pelicans 5 as we get into the second quarter. And, Greg, you wouldn't expect it from a Coach Thibodeau team, but defense was an issue for the Timberwolves last year.
And the Wolves brought in Butler to help with offense, but more importantly, his defense. And Butler, familiar with what Thibs likes to do on both ends of the floor.
Take a break.
Has
Take
the
a break.
leadership the team
Two
needs,
shots.
particularly on the defensive end.
Free throw drops for Hill. Both free throws good from Hill. Clark, as an analyst, do you feel you view the game drastically different from when you were in your playing days in college and the NBA?
Yeah, you know what, Kevin, I really do, because I've benefited from the different coaches we've had a chance to visit with over the years, and that's added to my perspective. And you tend to look at things differently when you're playing. I was always a student of the game, but clearly I think I've become a lot more analytical as an analyst, if that makes any sense.
Yes. And a breakdown here, guys. The hustle stats for the Pelicans.
Boy, they've really amped up the pressure at the defensive end, guys, and have piled up the steals in the early going.
Yeah, and one thing, Clark, I've noticed is how quick their hands have been tonight. Thanks to that, they've gotten a lot of points off of turnover.
And we've got an update here, so let's check in with David Aldridge reporting from the sideline.
Well, guys, the Pelicans do have their challenges, but Anthony Davis remains committed to winning in New Orleans. He said, "I love it here. I don't plan on leaving. I guess I fit into that old school category where I want to try to win where I start my career. That's always been a goal of mine. My goal is to bring a championship here." Kevin?
And David, loyalty does go a long way. Davis is a perfect guy to build your team around. He wants to win. Here's Lawson. Following the basket by DeMarcus Cousins. And now the Pelicans on the break. Here's Wells. Offline with the baseline jumper. Timberwolves trail by 7. Crawford dishes to Jones. And Bielitsa kicks to Jones. Drills the three-pointer. Jones has got 6 here in this quarter.
Yeah, these defenders had better start closing down on shooters.
To the middle. Here's Hill. And Hill throws it down.
Yeah, I mean, maybe could have tried for a more memorable dunk than that one.
And we know he's capable of those memorable ones.
Hey, they've got a nice, comfortable lead here, fellas. Might as well keep it simple. Do it a plain, simple one-hander, just like pound cake.
I would agree. Darius Miller, he's checked in for New Orleans. Ian Clark comes in for Ejuan Moore. And then for Minnesota, Taj Gibson's checked in for Bielitsa. Andrew Wiggins comes in for Jamal Crawford.
One shot.
And it's Teague in for Ty Lawson. And the New Orleans Pelicans last season with one of the worst offensive rebounding percentages in history.
Yeah, I mean, it improved somewhat with DeMarcus Cousins coming in. But I think really it's the team's philosophy, though. They value getting back in transition more than they value a chance to attack that offensive glass.
Wiggins from outside. And another 3 for Minnesota.
Out of their last 5 makes, how about all 5 from long range?
Well, the defense just hasn't pressed up to deny any of those looks, guys. I mean, they're hanging back and getting picked apart.
And a sturdy screen set for him that time, and he doesn't fool around, just straight to the rim for the finish.
No way for his man to get around that one. That's for sure.
No chance, Kevin. I mean, the screen was in the right spot. His feet were set. He would have had to go straight through him, and that's not legal.
Minnesota with the ball, following the score by New Orleans. Shoots from the baseline. That shot, no good. Hill with some nice D. And he uses the glass on the layup. Hill's got the lead up to 8 now for New Orleans.
Well, we've seen that movie a few times, haven't we? An easy bucket in the paint.
Well, listless and lifeless at the defensive end. I mean, especially inside. They've really got to pick up that interior defense.
Now here's Jones. 6 points for him. Here's Wiggins. And oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot 2. Well, Andrew Wiggins, the pride of Canadian basketball, he is shown to be a very durable player, Clark, in his short career. Rarely misses a game if he ever does, and plays a ton of minutes each night out.
Yeah, and Kevin, even as a rookie, Wiggins logged heavy minutes. He often played north of 40 minutes a game. But he's so important to this team because of his impact at both ends of the floor.
First one falls for him.
And you know, it's amazing when you look back at the Andrew Wiggins, Kevin Love trade. Safe to say now that I think both teams really got what they wanted out of it.
Alexis Ajinça has checked in for New Orleans. Minnesota also with the sub. Jimmy Butler, he's checked in for Tyus Jones. And both free throws good for Wiggins. Pelicans leading by 6. The pass to Ajinça. And stolen by Jang. And now the Timberwolves on the break. Teague with the ball. And it's good for 2.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agendas.
Yeah, and it's really fun to see that kind of unselfishness. Really hard not to appreciate all the assists they've racked up.
Here's Miller after the made shot from Jeff Teague.